Beautiful. Hey, it's Tara here. I'm here with Pepsi. Hey, Pepsi. All right, I'm just gonna go over to where you all are in the chat. There we go. Perfect. Can you guys see me okay? Is everything good? And can you hear me okay as well? Just let me know in the chat if you can. Everything's all right? Oh, Pepsi. Awesome. Okay, some of you are chatting here. Hello to you guys. Hey from Miami. Hey from Sweden. So I'm sitting out here right now in front of my tiny home in Sweden. Hopefully the light and the sound and everything is okay. Hi from Texas. Hey, that's cool. It's so neat that everyone's joining from North America, back where I used to be. Okay, cool. So I've got my phone here and I've got some questions that you guys asked on Instagram and some from the YouTube video I put up this morning as well. If you guys have any questions, this is just going to be a completely informal Q&A. We'll just hang out, chit chat about food, lifestyle, yoga, self-love. You can ask me anything personal, whatever you want. If there's a ton of questions, not good vision. Okay, just 1 second here. Let me see here. Just one moment. Okay. All right, I see what you mean. The video is not very good. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'll do what I can. I'll see what I can do. Pepsi, what are you doing? Pepsi, sit down. Good boy. Come on. Okay. I'll see what I can do about the vision here, about the screen itself. It was looking okay before, but let me see if there's anything I can change about it here. I'm not sure. We might just have to stick with what we got. Hopefully it's all right. Let me know if it's if you can't see me at all. Your dog is so cute. I know. Pepsi's awesome. I love him. Okay. Okay, cool. Hopefully you guys can see me okay anyways. But yeah, if you have any questions, I don't know how many people are going to join. Not sure today. But if there's too many questions and I can't get to them, you guys have the option to super chat as well. Also, if you want to support me financially, there's obviously no obligation to do anything like that. But I just enabled this thing called super chat. So if there are a lot of questions and you really have one that you want answered, you can always send me a super chat. Donation, something like that, and I will guarantee I'll get to your question. But like I said, you don't have to do that. It's just if you want to. Okay, cool. So we'll get to some of the questions now. And like I said, if you guys want to ask me any questions, you can just put it in the chat box on the computer. I'll be looking from time to time. And I'll get to some of the ones from Instagram, or I'll start with Facebook. Yeah, from the video I put up this morning. So you guys sent in some questions. Beautiful. Okay. So the first question was, is there any non-raw vegan food that you would love to have in a raw version, but it doesn't really exist? That's an interesting one. I've thought about it so much. You know, I've had this thing where I'm like, if I knew I was going to die tomorrow and I had the opportunity to eat whatever I wanted today, would I eat different? And if there was no repercussions from what I ate, like if I could eat whatever I wanted and I would feel totally fine, and obviously I would never eat animal products, like I'm vegan for life, but I've thought a lot about it, like would I have pizza, would I have ice cream or cake or brownies? And I think the biggest thing I would love to be able to recreate a raw version of is bread, because I can do raw pizza crust, I can do raw crackers, anything that you can usually do with a grain, you can kind of mimic in a raw version, but bread, I just don't think you can do it. I don't know. I haven't seen any convincing bread recipes that are raw. You can kind of make ones that are really dense, but that's just not the same. It's not the same as fluffy bread. But even with that being the case, I think I don't really miss those foods because I definitely don't miss how they used to make me feel. So even though I would love to have a raw vegan version of bread, I'm still fine with eating raw. I mean, it feels so good that it's worth it to eat the foods that make me feel good instead of eating something like bread. So that would be the non-raw food that I could say I miss, I guess, a little bit. Okay, cool. How's everybody doing? Can you see? Just let me know if there's any issues. I can see you perfect. Okay, cool. Brilliant. So the next question I got, let me see here. What do you think about colonics? Actually, I've had colonics. Is this TMI? I don't know. For those of you who don't know what colonics are basically, I'll just say it bluntly. It's like having a tube shoved up your butt where warm water is pushed through, and it's supposed to clean out your colon and that sort of thing. I've had them done before. My view on any kind of alternative medicine and that kind of thing is that most of them are unnecessary. I think a lot of things like colonics are made for people who eat a really poor diet and maybe don't have enough exercise or a lot of stress in their life. I think if you eat fresh fruits and vegetables, you live a plant-based lifestyle, even if it's not raw, and you don't have a ton of stress and you get a moderate amount of exercise, I think your digestion should be pretty good and you won't have the need for colonics unless you have some sort of extreme situation where you find you need them. That's the only reason I got it done one time. But otherwise, I see alternative health things like that just to be a little bit unnecessary. So, but I mean, if you want to get a colonic, go for it. I mean, all the power to you. I don't think it's particularly bad. Obviously, there's good and bad sides to everything. And a lot of times, I know there's some horror stories about colonics out there of like, I died from getting a colonic or my friend died from getting a colonic. I think you only ever hear the bad stories when it comes to those things. No one really goes to get a colonic and says, oh, I got a colonic and I feel totally normal and everything's fine. You just don't, you always hear the extreme, right? The sensationalist stories. So that's my thoughts on them. Anyways, also let me know in the comments as well if you guys have any questions for me. I can answer them here live for you guys. Do you have the same hair care routine and has your hair changed texture since starting a raw food lifestyle? So I don't know if you guys know or not. Okay, I see a couple questions here. Awesome. I use the no poo method, and that doesn't mean I don't go to the bathroom. That means I don't use shampoo on my hair. And I'd say that, I mean, I've been doing it for maybe about 4 years now, and my hair has definitely changed texture. For those of you who are wondering about the no poo method, I think when you wash your hair with shampoo, it gets really, really light and fluffy, and my hair doesn't get like that, which I actually prefer because even though my hair, it seems okay now, it's because I have the natural oils in it. If I washed it fully with shampoo, it would just be like a big frizz ball. So actually, I have noticed that my hair has changed its texture, but that's mostly because I don't use shampoo in it. But I don't equate that to diet at all. I think I just don't have enough evidence to say that eating raw changes your hair texture or it improves your hair texture or anything like that. I'm just not sure. I can only, talk about my own experience. So, okay, what do we got here? Hi from Germany, A from Sweden. What do you think about fasting? Fasting is another one of those things where you hear the really positive stories and the horror stories as well. And I think if someone's going to be trying fasting, I think it's really important to make sure it's supervised. I don't know enough about fasting that I would feel confident fasting on my own. I would definitely want some sort of professional, someone who knew what they were talking about, where I could be in a safe environment as well. Because I think if you're going to do something like a fast, especially a water fast, you want to be in an environment where you have no stress whatsoever and you don't have anything you have to do. You definitely don't want to fast if you have to go to work or something or have some sort of obligation or taking care of your family or something like that. I think going somewhere like Costa Rica, somewhere tropical where you can just lay down for 30 days, then fasting I'm sure is great. I've got some friends that had positive fasting experiences, and then I've heard horror stories as well from people. So I think you just have to approach something like that with caution and don't assume that it's going to be wonderful. And also never assume that if you are fasting and you're experiencing something really negative, don't just always assume it's detox. I see that so much that people just write everything off as detox. I think that can be dangerous sometimes because it's not always detox. There could actually be something wrong. So I think as long as you're in a place where there's actual professionals, maybe doctors, there to supervise you, then I don't think there's anything wrong with fasting. If I felt like I really needed it, then I would probably fast. But I think if you have regular healthy lifestyle practices, it's not necessary. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the questions here. I've got a couple from Instagram as well. Here we go. They're from earlier today. Hey to those of you who are just joining. 30 people, I think. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming. Cool. Did you start eating raw right away or did you do it gradually? How long will you stay in Sweden for? Okay, I'll get to that question right after. Did I start eating raw right away or gradually? So I was really inspired. Have any of you guys heard of Victoria Botanko? I don't know if you have, let me know in the comments. Victoria Botanko is like the mother of green smoothies. And when I first went vegan, I was super inspired to go vegan by a book I read called Skinny Bitch. And I know it's a it's a triggering title or crazy title, but it was a vegan activism book disguised as a diet book, which was perfect for someone like me. And I went to a family member because I didn't know anyone else who ate vegan, vegetarian. I know everyone thought I was crazy probably. And she said, oh, you've got to watch this DVD. It's awesome. It's amazing. It'll really make sense to you. I think it'll appeal to your kind of logical mind. So I watched this video about green smoothies, and she was right. It really made sense. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go 100% all in tonight. I'm going to go 100% raw, except I didn't know anything about raw foods, except for that maybe drinking green smoothies was good. So I tend to be an all or nothing type of person, so that's how I chose to do it. But yeah, I did go all in, and I probably lasted about a week, and then I failed. It crashed and probably binged on some sort of carbohydrate or like sweet potato fries or something like that. The problem was that when I went raw at first, there wasn't enough information out there. There was barely any vegan products on the market, and there certainly wasn't YouTube where you could just watch a plethora of videos about people eating raw. So I didn't have the resources behind me. I had no idea that it was good to eat a lot of fruit. I had no idea that you should even eat ripe fruit or how to even know if fruit was ripe. So I think I just didn't have the resources available. I wouldn't say it comes down to something like willpower, because in my opinion, willpower doesn't really come into play, because if you're hungry, doesn't matter if you have all the willpower in the world. If you're hungry, you'll eat whatever's available to you. So I was eating largely vegetables and probably some underripe fruit, maybe a green smoothie or two per day, but definitely not enough calories to support my bodily functions. And that's why I would crash and just crave pasta or something like that. So I did go raw overnight, but then it was like a 2-year transition before I found the 80-10-10 diet. And I would probably say that I failed once a week for that entire period of time. And it was like a roller coaster, up and down, feel high on raw and then crash hard. And it was consistently like that until I learned that I could actually eat a lot of carbs and it was okay to do that. That was the first time that I actually felt like I could maintain raw for a steady period of time. So if any of you are starting out and you feel the same way, where it's like a roller coaster, that is totally normal, and there's no pressure to eat raw, 100%. Let's see. Also, how do you make sure you get enough calcium? The thing is that I don't eat for specific nutrients, and I don't recommend that anyone else eat for specific nutrients either, because I'm of the opinion, from working with other people, from knowing a ton of vegans, from being vegan for almost 10 years myself, that all you need to do is eat a wide variety of plant-based foods, and you will get the proper nutrition. Now, obviously, there's some things to take into account, like B12, if, food is grown in soil that is lacking in B12, and that kind of thing, but I've never heard of a vegan not getting enough calcium, because there is more than enough in plant-based foods. I think calcium is one of those things like protein, where we are indoctrinated to think or be afraid of not getting enough protein or calcium. But I haven't talked to one vegan who's had any issue with that. And I would say if someone's concerned about getting enough of, calcium, B12, whatever it is on a vegan diet or a raw diet, just use a program like Chronometer. That's CRON-O-meter. I think it's chronometer.com. You can go to. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but what it is a program where you can input your food, and then you can see what specific nutrients you're getting. So if you or your family is ever concerned about that, it's easy to see you're getting enough. So, okay, I'm going to answer some of these questions. How long will you stay in Sweden for? No idea. I wish I could say that I have this like grand 5-year plan, 10-year plan. I have no idea. Honestly, I decided to move to Sweden in January, and I moved in February. So I kind of live spontaneously. If an opportunity comes up or I change my mind, then I just go with the flow and hope for the best. I tend to take risks, maybe unnecessarily so. And if something feels right and I have the resources to do it, or I can find a way to be resourceful to make it happen, then I'll just make it happen. So I don't know how long I'm going to stay in Sweden for. I have my visa is valid until March to live and work here. but I could be immigrating to another country after that. Who knows? One thing I do know is that I probably won't go back to Canada because I love the model of living in Europe. I love the mindset, the wage, a lot of it. I just love the lifestyle in Europe a lot more than in Canada. So, oh, beautiful. You look happier there, to be honest. Yeah, I am happier. See, that's the thing. It's like Canada's a beautiful country, and this is what I'll say to anybody who's felt like you should stay somewhere because maybe your family is somewhere or you were born in a specific country or a specific place. If you don't feel like you belong somewhere, then go somewhere else. I mean, if you can, if it's feasible, if it's something you want to do, travel and explore. You never have any obligation to stay in one place if you're not comfortable there. And as beautiful as Canada was and the fact that all my family is there, all my friends are there, I don't know, it's just, it never felt right to me, and I always wanted to travel and explore. That's not to say that I won't go back to Canada one day or that I don't think it's an amazing country, because it is in a lot of ways, but for me, there's just too much of the world to see to kind of stay stagnant or rooted in one place, so. Oh, you titled your live stream 40 Below Fruity. Did I? Really? Oh, I mean, 40 Below Fruity live stream. Oops, okay, totally didn't mean to do that. This was actually called live Q&A on my computer. Oops. No, this isn't like a nostalgia thing. No wonder. People are probably wondering, like, well, what the hell is 40 Below Fruity have to do with this? Yeah, no, I'm not nostalgic or anything like that. I don't know why I had it there. Okay. Can you guys see that it's called live Q&A now? I don't know if I can save that. Maybe not. Oops. I'm still learning all this software too, so I don't necessarily always know. Yeah, okay. No, I'm definitely not missing the old name. Honestly, I changed my name to Raw Food Living because it was so frustrating all the time to try to explain to people what 40 Below Fruity meant. I realized that my followers here, people who watched my videos for like 4 years, had no idea what 40 Below Fruity even meant. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Why do I keep trying to explain something like this to people? Why don't I just change my name to something that actually makes sense? So, okay. I'm having a tea, by the way. Lemon green tea. I remember Freely the Raw Fit Bitch. Is that it? That's not the same as the book Skinny Bitch. I know Freely did have a channel called the Raw Fit Bitch for a little while, or that was her alias for a while, but it's not the same thing. I don't actually know if Freely has read the book Skinny Bitch. Probably, or anyway, she'd support it because it's an ethical vegan book, but no, it's not the same thing. Okay, when you moved to Sweden, did you have a place to stay before moving, or did you just go and rent a motel and hope to find a job? Yeah, it was kind of like the last thing, actually. So did you have a place to stay before moving? Luckily, I actually had a friend in a place called Karlstad in Sweden who was going to Thailand for a month. So she needed someone to watch her cat and watch her house for her for 1 month. And this is a great option if you're moving to another country or just want to experience living in another country for a period of time, is to do house sitting. And there's a ton of websites out there, but luckily I just had a friend who needed someone to watch her house. So I lived at her place for a month, and for Sweden, that was essential. I could not have just moved here and tried to find a place because it's so official and everything has to be done so by the books that it's actually really challenging to find a place to live, and you have to go through so many levels of bureaucracy to make it happen that I don't think I could have I would have been paying a lot for a motel, let's just say that, if I had just moved here. I hope to find a job. Actually, finding a job was not difficult in Sweden at all. I think because I live in a little tiny tourist town where there's not a lot of reliable employees anyways, and a lot of people who come here speak English. I've rarely found people who don't speak English, and I do make an effort to learn the language as well, so it's really not that bad. And finding work wasn't really difficult. I just decided to get whatever job I could just to, make it work. And I work at a cafe, for those of you wondering. It's not vegan, it's not raw, but they do know about raw food, so I don't usually have to justify my diet at all, which is really nice. Okay. What has been your favorite meal lately? Ooh, that's hard. It kind of changes. I go through phases where I get like obsessed with one food and I just stick with it and eat it all the time until I can barely look at it again. Because Yeah, do you guys get obsessed? Am I the only one? I feel like sometimes I just want to eat the same thing all the time and never change it until like I literally can't look at it again. So right now it's actually a raw vegan Snickers cake. I've been eating that every day, and it's nice because it's I actually made it with raw oats, or what I think is raw oats. Anyways, it's really good. Like a shortbread base with a caramel layer on top, and then raw chocolate, and it's really good. But also Caesar salad, raw Caesar salad as well, and my smoothies. I would say I don't have like one favorite meal because it depends on the time of day as to whether it's my favorite. In the morning, I love having my like a frozen banana smoothie, and then for lunch I love having a salad, and then for dinner I might have another smoothie or have some sort of raw treat. So, okay, here we go. Just checked in. Why exactly did you move from Canada? I'm going to answer that before the previous question. There's a lot of reasons why I moved from Canada. I found, like I said before to those of you who are listening when I answered the question about moving to Sweden, I just found like I didn't fit in Canada. Like it was a beautiful country, and I know a lot of my friends just loved it so much that they never wanted to leave, and I just never felt that connection. You know when you go somewhere and you just kind of feel at a place and everyone around you is loving it, and you're like, but I don't get it. I don't connect. I don't feel that way. That's always been Canada for me. So, obviously I love where my family lives and I love visiting friends and everything there. But I crave a lot of things that Canada doesn't have. Specifically here in Scandinavia, the fact that it's such a bike-heavy culture, so I can cycle anywhere and it's socially acceptable. Also, the access to public transit, the higher wages, the higher standard of living, which is actually significantly higher than Canada. And also the access to, in Europe, the access to other places. Like it's so cheap if I want to fly to Italy or Greece or somewhere warm and tropical, and it's so accessible. So those are the things that I felt in Canada. It's not like a cold wasteland like everybody thinks it is, by the way. It's really beautiful, and it's not really that cold. But even so, I felt so isolated from the rest of the world, and there's not a lot of public transportation. There's not a lot of bike culture. So I guess I just feel like I just fit in a lot more in Europe. The European lifestyle it works for me really well. Anyways, I know I've just lived in one country, but so far I really enjoy it. Let's see. Yes, I eat the same foods all the time. Yeah, it's so funny because people, a lot of people when they find a raw vegan lifestyle, they're like, but I don't want to eat the same thing all the time. What can you eat? Just like fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. And at the other side of the coin, if you look at people who live a standard American diet, standard Canadian diet, whatever it is, even just a vegan diet, people get in ruts all the time. Like when I was eating a standard American diet, I still ate the same foods all the time. Just because I had the availability of all the animal foods to me didn't mean that I differentiated my diet. I ate the same crappy fast food almost on a daily basis. So I think that's just normal. I think you just get into habits of things that you'd like to eat on a regular basis, regardless of the lifestyle you live. Take a sip here. Okay. Are you planning on volunteering for Sea Shepherd in the future? If so, any advice for someone who would consider doing it? Yeah, definitely. Actually, if any of you are in Copenhagen or anywhere around Copenhagen, even if you're just in Denmark, we're going to be doing a harbor cleanup. We've got some electric boats that partnering with a company there. I don't remember the name, but we're going to be doing a big harbor cleanup on September 3rd. So if you want to come out, I'm going to be driving one of the boats, and this is with Sea Shepherd. We're partnering with this company to clean up the harbor, pick up trash. So if any of you are in the Copenhagen area, you're welcome to join. That is with Sea Shepherd. And also, the thing is that a lot of people think that Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, to be involved with us, that you have to go on campaign to Antarctica and go on the ship for 3 months of your, 3 months and give up the rest of your life in the process, quit your job. But it doesn't have to be that dramatic at all. We have so many initiatives with Sea Shepherd. Obviously, I'm not a representative of the organization itself. I'm just a volunteer. But even so, we have so many initiatives on the ground. There's so many chapters, depending for the person who commented that, if I'm going to be volunteering with Sea Shepherd again, just let me know where you're from, if you feel comfortable letting me know where you're from. And I might be able to let you know if there's a Sea Shepherd chapter in your area, because in most places in North America, even South America, some in Central America, in Europe, there's chapters all over the place. And usually there's some sort of, you can volunteer to set up a merchandise table at an event, or you can do a beach cleanup or something like that. There's usually something you can do where you don't have to take 3 months off work and go on campaign. But likewise, if you're interested in Sea Shepherd and you do want to go on campaign, we always need people at sea. There's always a changeover in the crew for different campaigns, and there's always an opportunity to do so. You can go to seashepherdglobal.org if you want to get involved, and there's an opportunity to volunteer on the website. You can send in an application. Likewise, we always need, in new countries where we don't have chapters, we always need people to start those up. So there's literally a ton of opportunities for anybody who wants to get involved. So. Let's see, what do we have here? Hey from New Jersey, I'm guessing. That's New Jersey? Okay, in the U.S. Hey from Sweden. Do you find it hard to eat raw in a colder climate? It's interesting, because I used to think that like Canada was as bad as it got. Not as bad as it got, but yeah, that it was challenging to eat raw in Canada, and it couldn't really get more challenging than that until I moved to Sweden. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like 10 degrees Celsius and raining in the middle of summer, and there's sour berries to eat, and there's no figs or good quality fruit, and there's no mangoes. And I mean, I live in a pretty rural place, so I kind of did that to myself, and I tend to live in these like far out of the way places. But I do have access to a produce market that's about a 45-minute bus ride away. I could easily go there, but I don't on average. So I don't think it's so much to do with the climate that you live in and whether it's hard to eat raw in those places, but whether you have access to the availability of fresh fruits and vegetables. I can eat raw here in Sweden, but I've noticed that it is a lot more challenging. There's not the fresh availability of California produce. I appreciate that so much more now that I live in Sweden. We still get a lot of things from Spain, which is great, and I'm by no means complaining. I'm still able to eat raw here, but I do find that it's not as fulfilling when you can't get the high quality produce in season. That has definitely been a huge challenge for me. So I think I will be taking some trips to places like Italy or Serbia or somewhere in like the south of France, somewhere where there's really high quality fruits and vegetables. I need that to supplement this like stingy raw food diet that I have here. So it's not all bad, by the way. It's not all bad at all. Okay. Can you please make a video about the raw cake? Oh, the Snickers cake. Yeah, I can totally make a video about it. It's super easy. I think if you're going to make any kind of raw cake or anything like that, or cookies or whatever, just make it in bar form, because it's super easy. You can just layer things and then slice them up, and it's great to serve to family, friends, all that kind of thing. But yeah, I can definitely make a video if you want to see how the Snickers cake, for lack of a better word, how it's made. It is a little bit higher fat, so you know, if you're trying to keep it low fat, then maybe you're not interested in that as much. But what I have found is living in a place where it's actually a lot of the time it's quite cold in the summer. People seem to think that Canada is like this frozen wasteland, but it's actually a lot colder than it is here in Sweden than it is in Canada. And I find that the super light fruits, like eating melons all the time on a day when it's like 10 degrees Celsius and raining in the middle of summer, you just don't feel like it. You want heavier foods. So I have been gravitating towards heavier foods. I think that naturally happens when you live in a cold climate. It's just par for the course. Okay, about your question where I'm from with regards to Sea Shepherd. Oh, hey, okay, so you're the person who asked Jerdef, hopefully I'm saying that right, about Sea Shepherd. You're from Belgium. Yeah, totally. We have a chapter in Belgium. Absolutely. Sea Shepherd Belgium. Just look it up on Facebook. I mean, you're welcome to message them, and I'm sure they have events in your area, some way that you can get involved. Sometimes specific countries host the ships as well. So the ships from Sea Shepherd Global, we have quite a few ships, and they go all over the world. So maybe if you're interested in getting involved with something like Sea Shepherd, there might be a ship in your country or in your area. You never know. You can always help with them with donating to the organization. You can help with stocking the ship, things like that. So. Next message, here we go. What do you do for a living there? Oh, okay, so I talked about this a little bit. I work at a cafe. It's not my dream job. It's not like I really want to work at a cafe for the rest of my life. But yeah, I work at a cafe. It's, for me, I do what I love here on YouTube when I'm coaching people, because I'm often coaching again on my website, rawfoodliving.com. So that is my passion, is helping people here on YouTube. And I would love if I could do that full time, but I'm just not at a place where I can do that right now. So what I try to do is work a relatively stress-free job that I don't have to take the job home with me. So somewhere where I can work 25 to 30 hours a week, get enough hours to support myself so I can still travel and do the things I love to do, but something that isn't super stressful. And I don't think I could ever make a job working for someone else my career or my life's passion, because I like to be independent and work for myself. But that's what I'm currently doing that. Okay. I thought you wanted to move to South America on one of your videos. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I change my mind like every 5 minutes about where I want to be and what I want to do. That's why I just go with the flow completely, because I am one of those people who I cannot have a 5-year plan. If I made a 5-year plan, I would change it at least every 3 months probably, so I don't even bother. Because the places that I've ended up in my life, I could have never predicted that I would go there, years ago. So yeah, I definitely wanted to move to South America. I've wanted to move to Central America, Asia. I may do all of those things. I may do none of them. I mean, I really never know. I could have never predicted that I would move to Sweden until I moved here. So I think for me, I just prefer to go with the flow and just take life as it comes. And if it feels right to go somewhere or do something, then I do it. Maybe I'll end up in South America. I've been to Ecuador and I loved it. It was amazing. And I really love Spanish-speaking countries as well, because I just love the language. So who knows? I may end up there. Who knows? Thank you for your answer. You're welcome. Yeah, if any of you guys have specific questions, like I'll answer them here. Or if you want to know more about specific things, you can email me too. You can contact me through my website, rawfoodliving.com. You can ask me, about anything. What is a Sea Shepherd, and do they pay you, and do you get a free place to stay, and is there an age restriction? Okay, a few questions there. Sea Shepherd is an ocean conservation organization. It's one that I volunteer for. So it's basically direct intervention against mostly illegal activities, and any activity that is unjust, such as like the slaughter of pilot whales in the Faroe Islands or killing of dolphins in Taiji, Japan. Even though it's legal, we try to either work with the governments or we have a legal case against those practices if we have a legal leg to stand on. So that's what we do. Some people get paid in Sea Shepherd. I don't. For me, it's not about getting paid or not. It's about the work that we're able to do. So it's about being able to make a difference. And for me, it's not about getting paid. Like it's that thing when you find something that you love to do that really matters to you, it doesn't really matter if you get paid or not, as long as you do have monetary sources coming from different places. Other than that, there is an age restriction. You can't sign up until you're 18. But yeah, absolutely. Once someone is 18, they're welcome to join. What is your dream job? Ooh, actually, I really love television. I love television. Obviously, I love speaking. And my dream job, if I could choose any job in the world, I would love to be a host for a raw vegan travel show showing all the amazing fruits around the world, or raw vegan restaurants around the world. I would love to do that. That would be absolutely top of the list for my dream job. If there's any opportunity to do that, let me know, because that would just be wicked. That'd be so cool. Stephanie, hey. Get yourself to Italy if you can soon. I know. I have been drooling over photos of Italy on Instagram. Trust me, it is high up there on my list of places to go. And yes, if you should absolutely come here and we'll go to Italy together. That would be amazing. If any of you are from Italy and you have recommendations of places that you think I should go, or you've been to Italy, let me know, because I have this bucket list on Instagram where I save photos of beautiful places that I want to visit, and Italy, there's a ton of shots from Italy on there. Kansas City saying hello. Hey from Sweden, all the way from Sweden. Yeah, so proud of you for moving. That's the only way to do it. You have to listen to that inner knowing. Honestly, that's what I go for, and that's why I don't have any kind of life plan, because if you just go with the flow and you do what feels right when it feels right, then you're honoring yourself. The thing is I don't think you can ever have one passion, one dream, one life purpose. I think the dream or the life purpose is doing what you want to do in the moment. And as long as you're doing that, I mean, you're staying true to yourself, which to me is the most important thing. So that's what I do. Waving a hand. I saw you just opened up for new coaching clients. Can you tell us more about that? Yeah, actually I did. I decided I had taken some time off coaching because there was a few things that I just wasn't sure about. It's like an industry standard. People charge very high prices. And I always felt like I wanted things to be more accessible to people who, I don't know, have tighter budgets or are going to school, or a lot of people who are sick and in need of help, they just don't have the ability to pay for that. I mean, a lot of times they can't work when they're sick. So I don't know, I just really wanted to kind of restructure things and do it a bit of a different way. So I did just post coaching. I mean, if you're interested in raw food coaching or self-love or anything like that, you can go to my website if you are interested in it. But I found that I've been on this self-love journey for a few years now, just figuring out how I can love and appreciate my body. And I don't think I was fully there when I was coaching people before. I mean, it's always a journey. I don't think you ever get to an end destination, but I have learned so much more. And I needed to find a way to kind of integrate that into coaching. And because it took me so long to learn how to love my body the way it is, that I guess as I was going through the process, I didn't really know how to share that with other people. And I feel like I'm at a place now where I can share that with other people, where I've been through the fire, so to speak, and I've experienced it myself. So now if someone else has an issue with their body, or if they're struggling with something similar, I'm in a place where I can help them, where I wasn't sure if I was able to before. So anyways, yeah, for my coaching, I'm offering sessions usually over Skype or, something like that, like a video platform, a one-on-one chat. With email contact and, meal ideas, recipes, that kind of thing. And also the self-love aspect, because I think it's really important. And I'm doing a sliding scale. So it's a minimum of $20 donation. And if that's all people can pay, then that's completely fine. And if people feel like the value I'm offering is worth more than that, then they're welcome to pay more than that as well. And to me, that feels fair, because there's something that I value more than anything else in my life, and that's being fair. Whether it's to other people, whether it's to animals, whether it's to myself. So I just think that like justice and fairness is something I really value in my life. So that's why I chose to do it that way. So yeah, hopefully that answers your questions. If you have any more specific questions about coaching, just let me know, and I can answer that. Okay, how old are you? I am 27. I'll be 28 in October, actually. I can see you on the Food Network doing a Raw Food Around the World TV show. Yes, that would be epic. I actually did get headhunted. It didn't work out, unfortunately. I was like crying a little inside. But I was headhunted for a show in Canada, for Canada's first vegan cooking show. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. I did, they contacted me and I sent in an audition video. I don't know why it didn't work out. Maybe I just, wasn't the right fit or whatever. That would have been so cool. I would have loved that so much. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it didn't work out. I guess there's maybe more opportunities coming down the road, better opportunities. I guess you have to believe that. But yeah, that would be so cool. So cool. Okay, I lived in Italy for 2 years and been back several times. I got you covered. Okay, let's go. Trip to Italy. Anyone else want to come join us? I think Italy would be so cool. Oh man, we just got figs at the market here. I think from Italy. Pretty sure they're from Italy. And I like squealed like a child at Christmas when I saw them at the market. I was like, ooh, figs. I was so excited. It was really, really nice to see. It's been so long. So I would love to try fresh figs from Italy. That just would be amazing. Okay. If you don't like where you are, move. You are not a tree. I love that quote. I think it's a lot easier to find excuses as to why you can't change things in your life, whether that's where you're living or people that you're hanging around with, or it's really easy to come up with excuses as to why you can't change something you don't want in your life. But it is so much more freeing and so much more enjoyable if you can just break past those barriers and break past those excuses and just take a chance. The thing is that I think a lot of people fear taking a chance. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone thought I was crazy when I decided in January I was going to move to Sweden. And they're like, but how, wait, what? How are you even going to make that happen? I'm like, I'll find a way. Because I want it. I want it bad enough that I'm just going to do it. And I don't care what stands in my way. I'm just going to make it happen. And I made it happen. I don't even know how I did now, but it was just by being resourceful. And taking that leap was so freeing and so exciting. And yes, there's risk. But I mean, at the end of the day, the worst that can happen in your life is that you could die. And rarely will any risk you take end up in that kind of result. Like, you're not going to die from taking a risk moving to a different country, something like that. So I think that the risks are actually quite low, and it's always worth it to try new things. You'll never know unless you try it. You can only ever regret what you didn't do in life. I really believe that. So I guess we won't be going to the chop house now. I found out you're a vegetarian. No, I'm definitely not going to the chop house. Sorry. Have you always been so brave about moving wherever you want, or did you have to deal with anxiety or anything when you were younger? That is a good question. I think I just got this bitten by the bug of travel, I guess you could say, when I was about a teenager, just really early on, that I just wanted to travel. I wanted to explore and go places. The first place I traveled was Egypt, and it just like blew apart my whole world. I was from Southern Ontario in Canada, had never traveled out of that area at all. I didn't even really ever look at a map of the rest of Canada. I'd never been anywhere else. So when I went to Egypt, there's like total culture shock, and I experienced it, and I got high from the experience, and I just thought, wow, there's so much out there, and I want to see it, and I want to experience it all. So I guess it's brave. I don't know. I guess in a lot of ways I'm just very reckless as well, that I just do something and I don't think of the repercussions. Because I think if you think of the possible repercussions, it could just stall you with anything you want to do in life. And I mean, the thing is, you have to be okay with failing. You have to be okay with going somewhere, messing up. Maybe you move somewhere and it's the worst decision you ever made. And you have to be okay with that. And I think that's just part of life, and just learning to live with the fact that if you fail, you just have to get back up again and do something different. And so maybe, I don't know, maybe I just have a thick skin. I'm not sure. But, But at the same time, I also do have anxiety and PTSD. So I know what it's like to deal with anxiety, and a lot of times it leaves you feeling crippled. Luckily, I don't have anxiety about going new places or trying new things. It's a little bit different for me. So all I can say is take one small step at a time if you're wondering how to do something like that, and then just go from there. Okay, what is your favorite way of preparing avocados? Oh, you know what? I went to this restaurant in Amsterdam called the Avocado Show. If you ever have the chance, please go there. It's amazing. And at the Avocado Show, what they did, it was vegan. It's not raw, but you could absolutely make it raw. They had avocados. They cut them in half. They filled them with hummus and then put a bunch of spices around the edge, like curry, paprika, and chili. I think that was it. I think there was one more. Anyways, like just sprinkled the spices over the avocado and then filled it with hummus. And it may sound weird, it may sound boring. It was heavenly. It was so amazing. Yeah, I mean, if you can make a raw hummus out of zucchini and tahini, that would be amazing. And then fill avocados with raw hummus, and you could just literally eat that with a fork. It's delicious. I would say that's one of my favorite ways. Did you smoke weed in Amsterdam? No, I didn't. What a disappointment. No, I'm not really into drugs or anything like that, especially marijuana. I just don't like the idea of smoking things. I never really have, so no, that's not something I did. Is everyone on the Sea Shepherd ships vegan? You do not have to be vegan to volunteer with Sea Shepherd. But while you're on the ship, you will be eating vegan. So all the food prepared is vegan. But a lot of people actually come to the ships who are, meat eaters, vegetarians, and some of them have their minds changed after interacting with the crew and realizing, like, whoa, it's obviously this is my own bias, so don't get offended for me saying this, but it is a little bit hypocritical to devote your life to saving one type of creature while you eat another. At least that's my experience, because I am an animal rights activist, and I think for me, it would be hypocritical for me to be a meat eater while working with Sea Shepherd, because a lot of the arguments we get from other countries, like the countries like Japan or the Faroe Islands, they say, well, you eat cows and chickens and pigs. We eat whales. What's the difference? And I can say as a vegan, well, actually, no, I don't eat those animals, and I choose to respect all animals and all life. So I think some people go on the ships and they eat vegan and their minds are not changed, but I can only speak from my own personal experience, but you definitely don't have to be vegan prior to going on the Sea Shepherd ships. Hey, from back home. Back home is Vancouver Island, for those of you who don't know if you're looking at the comments. Are you still learning to be a yoga teacher? Actually, this was one of the comments I was going to answer that I just hadn't gotten to. I started my training in Bali of last year. It is quite expensive to be able to do that, and I have to kind of balance it with the rest of my life. And my teacher doesn't also offer a lot of courses here in Europe. Most of them are offered in Southeast Asia. And absolutely, it's something that I want to pursue more. I know there's some people who do their 200-hour yoga teacher training, and after that they feel totally confident and ready to be a yoga teacher. I didn't particularly feel that way. I felt like 200 hours was just the very beginning. I was just learning to know my body and really get an appreciation for what yoga is. And so personally, I would like to go through to full, 500 hours and learn much more about myself and yoga in general before I start teaching. I mean, maybe I'm holding myself back, but I think that there's a lot of people who do the 200-hour yoga teacher training, and they go and they start teaching yoga, and they're not always teaching it very safely. you know, I like to see, I don't know, I guess I just see people try to like bend and twist their bodies into advanced poses, and I see people potentially getting injured doing that, and I want to be confident that I'm not going to injure someone and that I can teach yoga in a safe and responsible way before I go and do it. That is the long version of that question. Yeah, so I absolutely plan on doing yoga. And also, I mean, I guess, you know, I'll ask you guys, for those of you watching, would you watch yoga videos if I put them out? Is that something you're interested in? I mean, I would like to do videos on YouTube. I think that would be a good place to start because people can watch it over and over again, and maybe I can demonstrate safe way to do poses and that kind of thing. I think that would be really cool to do yoga videos. So I would definitely do that. Okay, what is your biggest regret? Wow, what a question. I don't know. I don't say I have a lot of regrets because generally speaking, if something isn't working in my life, I change it. Or if I really want to do something, I find a way to do it. And I guess my goal is to go through life and not have any regrets. The thing is that the things that seemingly have gone wrong in my life, they all led me to a certain place. And a lot of times I haven't realized until I look back, you know, on that experience later on and look at it and go, oh, as horrible as that was or as challenging as that was, actually led me to where I am now. And maybe I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't experienced it. So I'm going to say that I don't have any regrets because good and bad, all of my experiences led me to here right now, and I'm happy here. So I wouldn't say that I have regrets. How's your Swedish? Not very good. I can understand like when someone orders ice cream, or I can say we have salad and soups and, you know, yada yada. It's not very good. I actually find it very challenging to learn Germanic languages. I also have to say that I'm not putting in a supreme amount of effort to learn either. I'm kind of just coasting by. So we'll see how that goes. But I am learning some, and I understand a lot more than I can speak. I think I sound pretty silly when I speak, actually, so I make a point of trying not to speak Swedish. But yeah, I definitely understand when people speak to me a lot more than what I can actually say. It's a little challenging to learn. It's not even challenging to learn. It's challenging to pronounce, to be honest. So yoga videos, please. Okay, cool. All right, then maybe I'll make some yoga videos. I think I'm going to cut this off pretty soon. And what I was thinking of doing was starting some live streams every week, like doing it every Sunday evening or something like that. So if you guys feel like you'd want to see a live stream at the same time, it's 8 o'clock my time here, or it was when I started anyways. It's 8:47 now. So what I might do is start doing these live streams on Sunday evening, my time here in Sweden, if it's a good time for you guys in North America and all the different parts of the world that you're coming from. Let me know. And if you want me to do these regular live streams, yeah, just send me a message or post in the comment section here, and maybe I will make them a weekly thing because I actually have a lot of fun with them. I think it's pretty cool. And I'll also upload this one as well to YouTube. I'm not sure if YouTube automatically uploads it. Anyways, I'll find a way you can watch it after if you want to. Yes to yoga videos. Absolutely do yoga videos. Yoga videos. Yes. Okay. All right, cool. I guess I'm gonna get started on some yoga videos. Cool. That'd be really fun, actually. I feel like I'd feel confident doing yoga videos on YouTube. So that's good. Anyways, if you guys have any last questions to ask me, let me know here in the comments. And if I'm not able to get to your questions, then you're always welcome to send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or through my website, something like that. And yeah, it's been really fun. I really enjoy these live streams. So if, like I mentioned before, I've opened coaching again on my website, so if you want to check that out, you're welcome to go to rawfoodliving.com. And I put out videos every Monday and Friday. I'm not sure if I'll be able to add back in the Wednesday video, but at least I do Monday and Friday right now. And I'm also starting a new series all about self-love and body image, because that has been one of my greatest struggles. And it's something that I have worked through, and so I want to share my stories now, and I'm really excited to do that. So thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you, guys. This is great. These are always a lot of fun. So I think that's it for now. I'm going to end the live stream tonight, but thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your support so much, because the only reason I'm able to do what I do here on YouTube or these live streams is because you show up and you're here and you're interested in what I have to say. So thank you so much for watching, and yeah, just keep watching on YouTube. And if you want to see any new topics from me, or you have any questions you want me to answer in videos, let me know. I'm always open to doing different videos and topics. Cool. All right, I think that is it. Thank you, guys. You guys rock. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. So I actually just have to figure out how to end it. I'm still learning about all this, so no problem. I love you guys too, honestly. Thank you so much for your support. It's awesome. I really enjoy doing these things. It's pretty cool. So brilliant, brilliant. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank all of you guys for watching and being here. And I promise next time I'll make the Q&A. I'll make it the title as live Q&A, not 40 Below Fruity stream, because I realized that didn't make much sense. But yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. And thanks so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you in the next live stream. Mm-hmm.
You done?
I think so. I cleared the layers.
You click the stream? Mark.